fans align. In red and white they always shine. With every pass it feels divine. Arsenal's on my mind. From hybrid days to Emirates grand, each match a symphony perfectly planned. With every goal we take our stand. Arsenal's on my mind.
Welcome back to your latest episode of Arsenal on My Mind, guys. We've been gone for a little while, as always. It's Spike and Sekijay.
Hey guys, how you doing? Good to see you. Sorry for the break. There's been a lot of bug going around here in California, and unfortunately, I caught that bug.
Mm-hmm.
I've been down,
and you kept it.
I caught it and kept it, but now I'm fine. I'm ready to go, and but I watched all the games.
Mm-hmm.
I just wasn't feeling too well. But it's great to be back with you guys. It's great to see you again. Thanks for hanging out and hanging in there for us.
Mm-hmm.
And we're ready to get Arsenal back on our mind.
Yeah, I mean,
like it never left.
Like it never left. Absolutely. We've been kind of trying to make it work and see how we can shoot this and get this back on schedule. But we have to resort to Zoom because Sekijay is probably still contagious. Who knows?
I'm always contagious, man. I'm sorry.
But yeah, guys, it's been a few weeks. Last time we left off, we never got to talk about, our Leicester game, right? Our Champions League exploits. And then obviously most recently, Southampton, right? Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we watched all those games, we kind of watched them and we talked about them throughout the whole break that we were on in a sense. But I mean, I don't know, man. I did not enjoy that Leicester game.
Well, I mean, we had it. First half was good, 2-0, right? We thought it was going to be business as usual. Then the second half, I don't know what happened, but we can't go through games like that. It's not good for my blood pressure. And I'm sure it's not good for a lot of Arsenal fans' blood pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And our defense is, I don't know what's going on, but I think we're going to talk about that shortly. But yeah, I don't like the way that game went. So I told you then that day, I was like, this game should have been dust and dusted. And if we're trying to, fight a team like Man City and take the championship from them,
Mm-hmm.
we have to be ruthless, especially at home.
Absolutely, absolutely. It was, I mean, in my opinion, that game, being 2-0 up and then letting them back in the game, to me, it has like a troubling kind of thing that I've noticed this season is that we're not starting second halves as well as we historically have. We kind of get a little comfortable, I think, maybe, and feel like we got the game in the bag. In all fairness, Leicester's 2 goals came out of nothing. I mean,
there were 2 great goals.
Not great. The header was a deflection,
Deflection, but the other one, Justin, where they were both Justin, what's his name?
Yeah, James Justin.
Right? Justin.
I mean, that second goal was amazing. Yeah, but I have to say, that second goal, Timber playing instead of Calafiori, it's not a goal because Calafiori, I love him, but he's very exuberant and he gets drawn to the ball a lot.
Hey,
and his
word, exuberant.
Him going too close into the middle of the field there is what leaves James Justin open for that volley. But all kudos to him. Great goal. Great goal.
That's what got him when Savio gave him that turn.
He's very exuberant, so he needs to calm down a little bit. But otherwise, love his play. I mean, we spent a lot of time talking about that game. We came back. The thing is, as I watched that game, I never once felt like we're going to lose the game. Never.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, we're going to find a way and score more goals because we have been playing at second gear the whole time, and there was still room to improve. So it's good to know that we have that. This new Arsenal, right? When we're not, if we need to push up a level, we can do it and get results.
Correct.
But kind of like you touched on, the defense. We're conceding more goals this season than we had, or easier goals. I won't say more goals, but it's easier goals. Like we're letting some goals through that you'd be like, well, this formidable partnership, right, of Saliba and Gabriel shouldn't be conceding, or Warren's conceding last season. We're letting in some goals. It's a little trouble.
You made a point. I think that was our second video. Say about Calafiori. That was the Man City game. Because Calafiori is new in the unit, Gabriel is drawn out a bit more, and that has the center of our defense is left open because Saliba now has to, so I think that's what is going on, coupled with the fact that, our midfield, we've been doing very well. We've not been, our balance, the team balance has not been there, because there's a lot of tinkering going on. And there are a lot of new relationships being built. Let me talk like Arteta. So new relationships are being built on the field. But I'm sure eventually they're going to figure it out. I'm trying not to go into some of our talking points yet because we have that for the rest of the segments. But I think Calafiori being new, the fact that we didn't have that midfield solidity, Partey doesn't bring solidity to the midfield. He brings calm. But the few games now with Merino in there, we can even see how it has unlocked Martinelli and all that. But yeah, so far, I think our defense should get better. Yeah, they're just still trying to get used to each other.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I think for sure there's room to grow on the defense. And then on the back of that, we go right into PSG and we completely stifle them. Right? I mean, again, watching that game, I never once felt like they were a threat to us.
No, right? We're superior.
We're superior now. This is a different PSG, right, than PSG some years ago. But nonetheless, if I'm a PSG fan and I watch that game, it's more evident to me all of a sudden that they are never going to win the Champions League. PSG, because that team looked like a championship team playing Arsenal, right? They didn't have. I mean, Bolton probably had more threat when they played us than those guys. But we dominated the game again without getting out of second gear. So this is interesting. I don't know if this is a tactic by Mikel, right? If we're just choosing to ride games like this and only jack it up if we have to, or is it just a symptom of the team just being unbalanced, like you said, where there's no balance, where they're just kind of like, what? When we have to turn it on, we will, but we're going to just do the bare minimum and win our games because we're just that good, right? I don't know which one it is. Because
I think, in my opinion, I think it's the later, is the latter one, because the team, we're still trying to figure certain things out. I'm also trying not to take away anything from our performance, but at the same time, PSG, it was a good time to play them. There's a lot of in-wrangling going on in that club. They dropped arguably their best player just before the game. Luis Enrique dropped Dembele. So all those factors, worked out in our favor.
Yes.
I still think we're not balanced yet.
I agree. And is that lack of balance due to Odegaard being out? Is that what it is? Is it that simple?
Absolutely.
Well, absolutely. So that's a good thing.
Trossard is doing well. Trossard is doing well. The team
is in the same way.
We're getting the result. We're not, but the reason why we are not feeling the absence of Odegaard is because we're getting the results.
Absolutely.
The moment we don't get that result, then everything is just going to blow right open.
Absolutely.
Because apart from his passing prowess, Odegaard is the glue. He's the rallying point of the team.
And it's pressing.
He's pressing. He's constantly, urging his teammates to come on, let's go. And he also has the killer instincts. Trossard does have that killer instinct too, but Odegaard, I obviously is still a class above.
Of course, and I think with Mikel, it's hard to really figure out whether he's planned for these things or he's just really good on his feet in making these changes, right? Because Trossard in midfield, as we talked about in an earlier episode, we didn't see that coming, right? And it's not a like-for-like replacement with Odegaard. He's not asking Trossard to become a playmaker, right? What he's really doing is us playing a pseudo 4-4-2, right? With Trossard and Havertz kind of both playing as strikers, but also both playing in midfield at the same time as false nines. So I don't know if he always planned for this when the transfer window closed and he's like, this is what I have to work with, right? Because, we all talked about how we thought we shouldn't have sold Smith Rowe and Vieira, in the same window. But all in all, whether he planned for it or whether he's just being proactive, I'm sort of reactive right now versus being proactive, either way, it deserves kudos, right? The team is grinding out results. I mean, we're winning, and I'm seeing all these other people on internet and like fans and non-Arsenal fans talking about how Arsenal is boring, and I'm like, I couldn't care less.
Man, those guys are haters.
They're haters, but I'm like, I don't care. We're winning games, but the thing is, we're not scoring scrappy. We're scoring good goals. So I don't know where the boring part of it comes in. We're not.
Oh, they've even gone. They've gone as far as saying Arsenal has gone evil.
Yeah, that's insane because the Arsenal team, yes, we're not as flamboyant as we were last season, where we're ripping teams to shreds, but that is still possible. We can do it if we had to. I'll say this: had we played PSG with our same vigor of last year, that game is 4-5-0, right? But I think Mikel was very happy with 2-0, or the players were very happy with 2-0. Like, you know what? We're done. We're going to do anything else.
You have to understand that it's a long season. There are lots of games to be played.
Yes.
The minutes management is important even from the start of the season.
Absolutely.
Especially if you want to get the optimum output from these players. I also think the noise out there is because people can see Arsenal coming.
Right.
When Chelsea was dominating, they were all screaming Chelsea was boring, Chelsea was this. I was one of them. When Man City was, started dominating, everybody hated on Man City, right? We were the oh, you guys are cute, but but you're cute. You're the bottle job. But now they see us go to Etihad and punch Man City in the nose, and Man City is shaking in their boots, and people are like, "Oh, whoa, Arsenal is scary now." So of course they have to start hating on us because
they're holding us to
now we're in threats.
They're holding us to how we were last year, right? Oh, they were so goal heavy last year. Why not this year? And to them, it's a symptom of regression, but to us, it's growth.
Progress.
We're just now more solid and more disciplined, right? But on a quick note, you just brought it up, the Man City game, my curse with Haaland still stands. No Premier League goals since he said that nonsense. Now, I'm not going to go as far as saying that my juju is strong enough to go the whole season, but I would say let's go one more game without a goal.
If your juju is not strong enough, come to Benin. Come to Benin. We'll cook it well for you. But and to make to buttress the point I was just making about Arsenal being a threat. I'll use this analogy. When Wolverine went from regular Wolverine to when he had the adamantium infused in him, that's exactly what Arsenal is now. We've gone from the cute, nice soccer playing team to now we have the steel.
I
so
like that. Yeah.
So now people are worried. So of course people attack what they fear.
Absolutely, yeah. So, but either way, those two games, we missed those during our break. But then this past weekend, Southampton, right? Now, for some reason, Southampton is being viewed recently as a bogey Arsenal team in a weird way, partially because of the last season and the season before, where we needed to beat them and we didn't, and I think I think they believe that. The players on Southampton believe that they're Arsenal, so which is why they came out. They play. That's the best they've played this season.
Well, But they've not beat. They still haven't beaten us in like 18 games.
Well, I'm just saying that last year one where Walcott scored. Did they end up winning that game 3-2?
Oh, at the Emirates, they've not beaten us in 18
yeah.
games.
Well, again, just a bogey team, not a team that will beat us, but a team that will always give us trouble.
And in those 18 games, we've won. Is it 16 or 17 of them?
Yeah, no, of course they're not anywhere near. But that game starts, and we, in a sense, again, were in first gear for the whole, and they score first, and all of a sudden, I get texts from like Arsenal haters. Whoa, I'm like Southampton, and they're like, yeah, the worst team in the league just scored on the best defense apparently, and all that. And I'll admit, it wasn't a great goal to concede from a defensive standpoint. I mean, right. Saliba wasn't good on that particular play. It was too easy of a goal to concede. But again, I felt against Leicester, I was like, okay, what's going to win this game? Had it been 2-3 years ago, I'm like, oh gosh, here we go again.
Yep.
Now we're going to have to hope for a draw.
We'll spend the rest of the game trying to get a goal, draw.
But immediately,
if we're unlucky, we get hit on the counter and it's game over.
Exactly. And immediately, you could see the change in the team, particularly with Havertz. He was like, okay, screw this, right? We're going to take this game because this is our game. And again, in the end, very comfortable.
I think that was Havertz's best goal so far for Arsenal.
I've been hearing that, and I have to say maybe, but I remember the goal he scored against Chelsea last year was also pretty good.
Well, given the context of this one, one goal down, whether we like it or not, the butterflies that started, rumbling in our stomach, in our tummy, even if we admit it or not, the stadium had already gotten on the edge. And bam, Havertz just
I will say
shoulder drops two defenders and lights it.
I would say it's his most forceful goal, most direct goal. That's how I'll put it.
I think that is a goal that you see the player and you go, this is a striker.
It was his most direct goal. Like, he always seems so languid and calm and normally, but that goal, you can tell he was like, okay, I'm going to score.
And he has just equaled whose record?
What, for goals scored?
In the beginning of the season, Van Persie.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. I mean, the thing is, Havertz is scoring goals, right?
He's banging goals in.
He's scoring goals, and I mean, I don't know how to put it, but
and Saka keeps giving those assists.
Boy, those. So it's like while you were down, right? I visited some family in Houston, and they're all Man U fans, and one of them said something that made me almost like write him out of my will. He said that that Saka was overrated.
Oh,
right.
And here we go again.
Exactly, and I'm like, okay, but based on what? Right? Based on a feeling? Because if it's a numbers game, you can't say that. And like, I get it. Saka is a different kind of player. I don't think there's any other player in the Premier League that plays like Saka. That's what's unique about it, right?
Yes.
It's like, he's not a Palmer. He's not a Foden. He's not a, what's the guy from West Ham? Bowen. Like, he's so different in that, I think the only way to truly appreciate Saka is if it's a defender facing him.
I was gonna say he's a very if you are Saka's coach or if you're just out there watching Saka, it's like he's not. I don't want to use the word frustrating. It's like he's not trying hard enough, but he's still putting out those numbers. That's why people keep saying, oh, he's underrated, or he's overrated, or blah blah blah, because he's doing everything graciously.
Yes. It seems like it comes easy.
It comes easy,
Right.
And that annoys people too. I'll tell you this, even me as Saka's coach on FIFA, managers mode, I get frustrated at him, but the numbers don't lie. At the end of the game, when I go to the performance and look at numbers, he's up there, but I'm like, but it's not like he's lighting the whole stadium up. And that's what people, because Cole Palmer is so selfish and greedy. He reminds me of Cristiano Ronaldo. He wants to. He's a glory seeking player. He's a glory hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Saka is not a glory hunter.
Right. Mm-hmm.
He's not.
He's a team player. I mean,
yeah.
And I've been seeing all these guys in Sky Sports and talking about how Palmer is world class. I mean, I don't want to get.
How can you say Palmer is world class
and Saka is not?
And Saka is not.
Right, and I get it. Palmer is carrying his entire team, but much like Saka did.
Saka carried us for like 3 seasons.
Yes,
and he was barely 19 years old when he did it.
Mm-hmm. So all kudos to Palmer. He's playing well. He's doing a lot for that Chelsea team, and I think he's doing a lot because he needs to do a lot for Chelsea's team. Right, the Chelsea team is not ready to do. Nobody else is going to carry the burden of goal scoring. I mean, yes, Jackson is scoring a lot of goals, but he's just, he's feeding off of Palmer in many ways. But that being said, Saka balled out, 2 assists, a goal. I mean, I don't know what else you want out of a player in a match like that. The assist to Martinelli, amazing. I mean,
do you know whose record Saka is who the class he is now?
Yeah, Ozil and De Bruyne.
And no, apart from I mean goal
contributions.
Mm-hmm. He's on the class of Cristiano Ronaldo when Cristiano Ronaldo won the Ballon d'Or with Manchester United.
Wow.
The stats Saka has had so far this season
mm-hmm.
is identical to that season that Cristiano Ronaldo won the Ballon d'Or with City.
Yeah, that's interesting. To me, he's world class. He's world class. And I don't care what anyone says about it. But I mean, either way, I'm gonna, for that game, I'm gonna just do a quick recap of my ratings for the game. It was interesting because Mikel, chose to rotate in a sense. He had to play Partey at right back, right? So because Timber and White were injured. Mm-hmm. But he started Sterling, and Jesus, give him a chance against a weaker team to see what they can do, And I have to say, it didn't really work, It didn't really work that well for whatever reason. And for me, Sterling didn't have a good game at all.
And
I don't know. To me, I think Sterling is going to have better games against harder teams. It's a weird thing because teams that aren't going to sit back and so forth, without that space behind, Sterling is almost useless. I used to call him a pace merchant back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Don't play high up against him. He can't do much else, right? He's not a great passer or, a great, ultimately, but not a poor game for him. Jesus, so I gave Sterling a 6 in this game. I'm kind of starting, from the top, if you will. Jesus was a 6, almost a 7. He didn't have a bad game. He just didn't impact the game, right? Yep. A different kind of failure in a sense than Sterling's. Sterling didn't play well. Jesus was all over it. He was everywhere. He just didn't impact the game the way he should have in a game against an easier opponent where we had to score goals. So Jesus also got a 6 for me. Havertz, I gave an 8. Great goal. Great energy, determination to get the game going and score and drag us to level up or gear. In midfield, Rice and Jorginho, another kind of rotation in there. Both had 7. They didn't do too much, but they didn't do anything wrong. The back line, Calafiori, I gave him an 8. Played really well, I gave Gabriel a 7, not his most impactful game. We had a lot of corners in that game, and he didn't do anything with it. That's now the expectation that we have, right? Is that he has to score from a corner.
Right. Yeah, we had like 12 corners in that game.
Yes, Saliba, I'll give him a 7, 8-ish. He had a good game save for the goal, so I'll give him a 7 there as well. Partey played well at right back, or
very well.
In reality, it wasn't really right back. We played the 2 inversions, it looks like. He was really midfield a lot, but he played well. No issue there. Raya didn't do much. Not sure what he could have done for either goal. I do feel like maybe he was not fully recovered. I don't know what it was. He doesn't seem his normal self, but he was
an off day.
Huh? An off day for the most part, yeah. And then obviously my man of the match, Saka, with a 9. Amazing. I mean, he played really well, 2 assists and a goal. And for Mikel, I gave him a 7. That.
Kala.
Who?
Kala.
Calafiori? Yeah, I gave him an 8. I said he played well.
Oh.
Yeah. And I gave Mikel a 7 just because, not because there's anything wrong, really. Just that, I guess, starting Jesus and Sterling just didn't work, and I don't know who else to blame but the coach for that, right? But 7 is maybe harsh, but I think, we still won the game, and that's a game we should have been winning far more comfortably, so I'll give him a 7 there. It was good to see Marino play, looked solid. Martinelli off the bench looked really dangerous as well. Trossard came on, really should have played in Martinelli for that one chance, so I gave him a 6, but nothing kind of crazy going on there. But overall, an average, good, okay Premier League game. What's your ratings?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a good game. I was a bit on the edge a little bit, but I'll start with Raya. Raya, I give him a 6 there. He didn't do much. There was a spectator, but I think he could have done better with the goal. So I gave him a 6 there. Calafiori, I gave him an 8. The kid is a stud. He's just a baller. And I really like him. He works hard. He has a presence. He's not afraid to carry the ball. Gabriel, I gave him a 6. All the corners, he couldn't score a goal. Saliba is 7. We're getting too comfortable with the standards Saliba set, but now we're getting spoiled. That we're giving him 7. Even though he still had like a classic game.
Absolutely.
Partey, I give him an 8. I was really impressed with what he did in right back. Really impressed with his work ethic. Really impressed with his fitness. I mean, Arteta said it that Partey came back preseason in the best shape he's ever been since he joined Arsenal.
Yeah.
So kudos to you there, Partey. Jorginho, I give him a 7. Just for showing up, doing what the coach asks you to do. Rice, I give him a 7.5, almost an 8. Did very well, worked hard. Sterling, I give him a 7.
7.
I give him a 7. We still won the game. It didn't quite work out for him, but he wasn't bad. He just wasn't. He was just a waste of space for me, but he wasn't bad.
A waste of space, just 7 in Sekijay's world.
Yeah. There goes the contradiction, but it's okay. He's still my man. Havertz, I mean, 8.5. He's a stud. He's looking. Newsflash: his stock has gone up too. Yeah, his worth has gone up in the market now. So take that, Chelsea. Saka, I gave him a 9. Man of the match for me. 2 assists and a goal. Star boy. What else do you want to say? World class. Yeah, Jesus, I gave him a 7. He put his body about. Was a nuisance, even though it was not that effective, but he worked hard. Martinelli, I gave him a 7.5, almost an 8, because he came on, had a lot of impact on the game, scored the winning goal. Read Saka's cross very well.
Very well.
Took a page out of Trossard's book. Because Trossard scored that same goal. After they took out Martinelli, that was against who? I can remember. I think that was against Leicester, actually. Then Trossard, a 7. Did what he was asked to do. Merino, a 7, because Merino unlocked Martinelli. I could see that relationship there. With Merino behind Martinelli, Martinelli is going to be back.
That's true.
Yeah, it's going to be very dangerous. For the gaffer, I give him an 8, and I'll tell you why. He started the team, rotated the squad, rested some players. It didn't work out. He made the necessary changes, and those changes
and early too.
Yeah, and he made them early. So that was it. It was a good game.
Good game, absolutely.
Yeah, it was a good game, and yeah.
Well, so excellent. I mean, I think those ratings are fair. I mean, I think you were a little generous with Sterling's, but whatever. But he'll have better games.
We're doing what we did for Kai Havertz. We're trying to make him feel comfortable.
Okay.
We're trying to get the best. We're teaching Chelsea how to manage players, man management.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. So next game, Bournemouth. After the international break. I mean, these breaks seem to be always poorly timed. I don't get it. I mean, I know you have to play international, but man, there got to be a better way to do this. I mean, it comes in, it just disrupts everything for a lot of teams, not just Arsenal. I mean, I think there's been a record number of players pull out from injury for this break. It's pointless.
For injuries.
Yeah, for injuries, it's just pointless, But we have Bournemouth after that, and then some other we'll do another pod before the Bournemouth game, a little precursor for that, a short one. But I mean, I think, we're looking at Bournemouth and we're thinking, okay, we can get another win from this game. And
we have a lot of players coming back.
A lot of
Odegaard, Odegaard is said to
be close.
Yeah, I think he will be ready by the time the summer international break is over. He will be ready. Tomiyasu is back.
He came off the bench last game.
Yeah. White is looking good again. He's back in training, I think. So the squad is looking healthy again.
Right.
Merino is back. Jesus is back. Thierry might be going on loan in January. I just heard.
Yeah, probably. His injury is taking forever anyway.
Yeah. So I expect us to beat Bournemouth 3-0 and fix our defensive wall.
Okay, well, we'll get to my prediction as we get closer. Hopefully, we can emerge from this.
Mine might change before then too.
But yes, but ultimately, I think things are going well for keeping Arsenal in mind. It's been a pretty what's the word? High blood pressure free season for us thus far. Very unusual for Arsenal fans to feel comfortable, and it's the feeling of knowing that we've not been at our best and we're still right up there. I imagine, in my opinion, that Liverpool is playing at their best at the moment.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And they're only 1 point ahead of us.
Absolutely.
There's
no other gear they have to go to.
Man City arguably could step it up, but then because they're folding back into the game. folding back into their game plan a little bit.
But their midfield is light. Their midfield is
no Rodri will be a challenge for them for sure. And I mean, the Fulham game, really showed their ass.
Yeah, they can get scored against now.
They can get scored against for sure. So if you're an Arsenal fan, you're thinking we're right up there and we've not been at our best. We're missing our best player, arguably, or second best player, a key player nonetheless. And it's a good time to feel optimistic. At least
absolutely
it's early, but we're riding out, this stop-start season really, really well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, the only player on our team now I can think of that if a player gets injured, I'll be worried, is Saka.
That's true.
Every other position we have covered.
That's true. Absolutely. But yeah.
Well, maybe Saka and Saliba.
True, but I mean, when you think about that,
technically we have backup. We have backup.
Unless we're playing a big team, we don't need Saliba all the time,
Right.
So either way, good time to be an Arsenal fan. Good time to keep Arsenal on your mind. It's been a bit of a short break, a bit of a long break for us, but we're back on schedule.
We're back.
Pumping out episodes. We'll do
this video
when Jerry is far, no longer contested. We can get back in person, and then we'll do some virtually as we have today. Let us know what you guys think about this virtual format. If you like it better, if it's the same, nothing gained, nothing lost. We do not live very far apart, but we can easily keep a better cadence if we do virtual pods like this. But either way, we'll see you guys next week for a pre-game pod against for Bournemouth. And then after that, we'll maintain a regular schedule. And until then, keep Arsenal
on your mind.
On your mind. Thank you, guys.
And like the video, share, and keep the comments coming in.
Absolutely. Okay.
hands align. In red and white they always shine. With every pass it feels divine. Arsenal's on my mind. From hybrid days to Emirates grand, each match a symphony perfectly planned. With every goal we take our stand. Arsenal's on my line. Oh Arsenal, you never fail. Through rain and sun our steadfast sail.